The morning sun streamed through the airport windows as Zara Jackson adjusted her Navy uniform one final time before pre-flight check. At 36, she'd been flying with Pinnacle Airlines for 12 years, earning her senior status through relentless dedication and professionalism. Her tight curls were pulled back in a neat bun, and her warm brown eyes reflected both kindness and determination. "Another day, another flight," she said to her colleague, Marcus. "Boston to Phoenix, right?" Marcus replied. Zara nodded. "Flight 847. Full cabin today." What passengers didn't see was how Zara had fought for her position. The airline industry hadn't always welcomed black women in premium cabins. She'd endured subtle slights and overt challenges but had risen through the ranks because of her exceptional service record. Today, she supervised first class on international and domestic routes, a position she'd earned through years of perfect evaluations. Nothing about today's flight suggested it would be different from hundreds before. Boarding began precisely at 7:45 a.m., with Zara greeting first-class passengers with practiced warmth. "Good morning. Welcome aboard Flight 847 to Phoenix." The flow moved smoothly until passenger 4C approached, an older man in an expensive suit, silver-haired with cold blue eyes. Gregory Whitman, according to the manifest. He barely acknowledged Zara's greeting, brushing past her to his seat. "Sir, could I help with your carry-on?" Zara offered, noticing him struggling to lift his bag. "I don't need your help," he snapped, eyes narrowing. "Just get me someone else to take my drink order once we're airborne." Zara maintained her professional smile. "I'll be serving first class today, sir. I'm happy to assist with anything you need." Whitman's jaw tightened. "Is there another attendant available? Perhaps someone more suitable?" The implications hung in the air. A few nearby passengers glanced uncomfortably at the exchange. "I assure you, sir, I'm fully qualified to provide excellent service," Zara replied evenly, her voice steady despite the familiar sting of his words. "We'll see about that," he muttered, loud enough for others to hear. As economy passengers filed past, Zara continued greeting everyone with undiminished warmth. Her colleague Vanessa whispered, "Everything okay up here?" "Fine," Zara replied quietly. "Just the usual." But something felt different this time. As the final passengers boarded, Zara sensed the eyes of 4C following her every movement, waiting for any mistake to pounce on. The seatbelt sign dimmed 30 minutes after takeoff, signaling the start of in-flight service. Zara moved efficiently through the first-class cabin with her beverage cart. "Good morning, what can I get for you today?" she asked each passenger, receiving mostly kind responses until she reached 4C. "Scotch." "Neat," Whitman demanded without looking up from his laptop. Zara nodded. "Certainly, sir." She poured his drink and placed it carefully on a napkin. "Here you are." Whitman took a sip and immediately grimaced. "This is unacceptable. Don't you people know how to pour a proper drink?" The cabin quieted. A woman in 2A looked up sharply. "I apologize if it's not to your liking," Zara replied. "I'd be happy to, just get me another one," he interrupted. "And this time, have someone competent pour it." Zara felt heat rising in her cheeks but kept her composure. "I'll prepare another for you right away, sir." When she returned with the fresh drink, Whitman barely let her set it down before complaining again. "Now it's too full. Did they not train you properly?" "Sir, listen," he leaned forward, lowering his voice but not enough. "I paid for first-class service, not whatever this is. Back where I come from, people like you know their place." A young man across the aisle looked shocked. The woman in 2A removed her headphones completely. Zara's hands trembled slightly, but her voice remained steady. "I'll be serving your lunch in about an hour, sir. Please let me know if you need anything else before then." Walking back to the galley, Zara took a deep breath. 12 years, and it never got easier. The situation reached its breaking point during meal service. Zara presented Whitman's tray, the airline's signature chicken with roasted vegetables. "I didn't order this." His voice rose louder than necessary. "Are you incapable of getting anything right?" "Sir, this is today's first-class meal option. If you'd prefer, what I'd prefer," Whitman cut in, "is competent service." "Is that too much to ask?" He pushed the tray toward her, causing the sauce to spill onto the tray. "Take it back." Several passengers were now openly watching. The woman in 2A, Dr. Elaine Patel, according to the manifest, caught Zara's eye with a concerned look. "I'll bring you our alternative option," Zara said, maintaining professionalism despite the humiliation burning in her chest. As she turned, Whitman grabbed her wrist. "Don't walk away when I'm talking to you." The touch, firm and uninvited, crossed a line. Zara froze, then carefully removed his hand. "Sir, please do not touch me." Her voice was quiet but firm. "It's inappropriate and against airline policy." "You're making a scene over nothing," he hissed. "I want to speak to your supervisor." "I doubt you'll be keeping this job much longer." Something shifted in Zara. 12 years of similar incidents flashed through her mind. The countless times she'd swallowed her dignity, smiled through degradation, all to keep peace at 35,000 feet. "Mr. Whitman," Zara spoke clearly, aware that the front cabin had gone silent. "I've treated you with nothing but respect and professionalism. I won't tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully or touched without consent. How dare you lecture me on respect?" Whitman stood up, towering over her. "Do you know who I am? I could buy and sell this airline." "Sir, I need you to return to your seat immediately," Zara said, her voice unwavering. "Or I'll be forced to report this as an in-flight incident." Dr. Patel from 2A stood up suddenly. "Excuse me, but I've witnessed this entire interaction, and your behavior is completely unacceptable." Whitman turned, startled by the intervention. "This doesn't concern you." "Actually, it does," came another voice, the young man across the aisle. "We've all watched you harass this flight attendant since boarding." Zara's co-worker Marcus appeared from the galley. "Everything okay here?" "No," Dr. Patel said firmly. "This gentleman has been verbally abusing your colleague and just physically grabbed her arm. I'm a physician, and I consider that assault." Whitman's face reddened. "This is ridiculous. I'm a Platinum Club member. I spend thousands with this airline." "That doesn't entitle you to mistreat staff," said an elderly woman from 3B. "I've flown over 2 million miles, young man, and I've never witnessed such disgraceful behavior." Marcus positioned himself protectively beside Zara. "Sir, I need to ask you to calm down. Otherwise, we'll need to contact the captain." "Contact whoever you want," Whitman sputtered. "I'll have all your jobs." The captain's voice came through Marcus's radio. "What's the situation?" Marcus explained briefly while Zara maintained her composure. "We're diverting to Denver," the captain decided after hearing the details. "Have a crew member document everything. We'll have airport security meet us." When they landed 30 minutes later, 2 airline representatives and airport security officers boarded. Dr. Patel and 3 other passengers immediately volunteered statements. "He called her, 'you people,'" one explained. "Made comments about knowing her place." The security officers approached Whitman. "Sir, we need you to gather your belongings and come with us." "This is outrageous," he protested as they escorted him off the aircraft. As he left, spontaneous applause broke out in the cabin. Zara, overwhelmed by the support, felt tears threatening but maintained her professionalism. "Thank you for standing with me," she said quietly to Dr. Patel. "No," Dr. Patel replied. "Thank you for standing up." The flight resumed after a 40-minute delay, landing in Phoenix under clear skies. As passengers disembarked, many stopped to offer Zara words of encouragement. Some shared business cards, offering to serve as witnesses if needed. Dr. Patel lingered until the end. "Will you be okay?" she asked. Zara nodded. "Yes. Thank you again." In the crew lounge, Zara's phone buzzed with a message from her supervisor requesting a meeting. Her stomach tightened. Despite the passenger support, airlines often prioritized high-spending customers over crew. "Whatever happens, we're with you," Marcus assured her. To Zara's surprise, the meeting wasn't disciplinary. Her supervisor, Diane, expressed full support and revealed that Whitman's platinum membership had been revoked. "The airline is pressing charges for passenger interference with crew," Diane explained. "Your actions were textbook perfect. Professional but firm." Later that evening in her hotel room, Zara called her mother. "They stood up for me, Mom," she said, finally allowing tears to flow. "Strangers. They saw me as a person worth defending." "Because you defended yourself first, baby," her mother replied softly. "That's always been the hardest part." 3 weeks later, Zara received a company-wide email announcing new anti-discrimination training for all passengers at booking, with her input requested for the program. Standing at her apartment window watching planes cross the evening sky, Zara realized that justice wasn't always about punishing wrongdoers. Sometimes it was about changing systems, one flight at a time. Tomorrow she would board another plane, stand a little taller, and continue making space for those who would follow.